There's something called remote working and remote work management. So I did that. Then I saw that there's a lot of issues with that, particularly with connecting with your colleagues. Back then we were using Skype. There was no Slack, there was no Microsoft Teams. So how do we create that connection? I tried to solve that by creating Remo, which actually was initially a virtual office product. So just to kind of share briefly what Remo is, just to give everyone context, it's like a bird's eye view of like your office so that you can kind of see all the chairs and desks from the top, from the bird's eye view from above. You double click on a table and you move on to that table. And so we were trying to solve that problem. And then no one bought it at the beginning. This is before the pandemic. Remote work was like a fringe thing. We even approached companies that were remote already, like fully distributed, and they didn't want to buy it. So obviously that's a failure. Didn't work out at that time. I then saw an opportunity to work with, back then people did these things called virtual summits. It's like the precursor of a virtual event. This is how bad it was back then. This is 2019. These virtual summits were pre-recorded videos, and you would buy a ticket, sometimes free, to go on this website. They would release the pre-recorded videos at a certain time and they would watch it.
Come on.
I say this now, but that was only like 4 years ago, guys. It was pretty bad. So I was like, why don't we do a sort of a virtual event, like where people come into this space and that you can give the talk, we talk about each other, we talk about the whole thing. I found this remote work virtual summit. I pitched it to the guy who owned it and I said, let's do this. I'll do it for free. I modified the product within like 4 weeks. Then we did it. We had 10,000 people go through the event across 3 days. It was pretty successful. And I would follow up with people. My thought was, you guys now experience the product. So you should really want to buy the virtual office. And was like, this is a virtual office product? I thought you guys do virtual events. I'm like, virtual events? I was like, yeah, I love the event experience. I felt I could connect with people. It was an amazing experience. I said, can I buy this for virtual events? I was like, we don't do that, but let me think about it.